Um, Before we start, just a bit of housekeeping before we get on the way. Firstly, the call will be recorded for sharing purposes, so just to assure you that you won't miss a thing if you do need to drop off, so don't worry about that. Secondly, we love questions, so please do drop them into the chat at any point during the presentation. We'll be here today for roughly about 30 minutes, which will include answering the questions at the end of the presentation. My name is Debbie Hughes and I am the Sales Director here at Exon Health. I'm here to facilitate today's webinar alongside one of our regional sales managers, the amazing Danielle Henderson, who is our presenter for this session. Welcome, Danielle. Give us a wave. We also have a silent partner in the background, the equally amazing Krista Reed, who will be on hand should we need her. I'm thrilled to have them both here for today's Access Optimization session, which is to talk about call routing, one of the key features for improving access to surgeries for your patients. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Danielle to take you through today's session. Over to you, Danielle.
Hello and welcome to the session. My name is Danielle Henderson, one of the regional sales managers here at Exon Health. In primary care, delivering a great patient experience is more critical than ever. To deliver modern general practice successfully, surgeries not only need to have the right tools in place, but they also need to know how to use them effectively. We are here to help with that. Surgery Connect is much more than a phone system. It is the backbone of delivering better patient access. And serving 3,500 surgeries across the UK gives us unparalleled insight into how to optimize access. Welcome to the Access Optimization Programme. The Access Optimization Programme supports practices to get the most out of digital telephony, and this programme is aligned to the requirements of the Primary Care Access Recovery Plan, also known as PCARP. The programme enables patients to access care, transforms the patient experience, and helps practices to ease the 8 a.m. rush. The programme covers the following areas: advanced clinical system integration, soft phone usage via the phone bar, patient callback, call routing along with personalised call routing, and reporting, including those all-important 8 NHS key metrics. Today, we're going to be focusing on the call routing element. Providing patients with up-to-date information is a vital step towards ensuring that the patient experience is as positive as it can be. Keeping your messaging accurate and relevant is easy with Surgery Connect, and making sure that you have a well-designed call flow allows patients to be routed to the appropriate department in a timely manner. Additionally, the advanced call routing features that Surgery Connect provides saves time and effort by managing opening and closing times automatically through the built-in calendar. Bespoke messaging can be created and placed into the call flow easily using our text-to-speech function. Unlimited phone lines and call queuing are provided as standard, and the real-time dashboards show you how your surgery is performing so far today and which departments need extra resources. Assigning staff to different departments is very easy to do, and auto step-in functions ensure that extra resource will be drafted in to help automatically when certain queue thresholds are met. Additionally, some functions can be carried out by patients on a self-serve basis without the need to speak to a member of your team at all. Now we will go through some of the benefits of adopting some of the more advanced call routing features that Surgery Connect offers. Let's start with in-call communications. Practice information and messaging relevant to the department options selected can be played to patients waiting in the queue, along with ever-reducing queue position announcements. These messages can be interspersed with music. Informational SMS messages can be sent to patients calling from a mobile phone. This is really useful when directing your patients to any online services you may offer, and this function is designed to reroute patients elsewhere, thus reducing calls to the call handling team. It also encourages behaviour change, so the next time they need GP services, they might first try the text link before calling in. Some of you may be already familiar with our patient callback feature. Patients can choose to wait in a virtual queue and receive a call back when they reach the front rather than sitting on the phone and waiting. We have a separate webinar focused specifically on this topic running throughout June as part of our programme of events. You can reroute calls outside the surgery. You might wish to reroute calls to the NHS app or other relevant services such as Pharmacy First, or an informational area on your website that may provide an alternative to waiting in the queue. And often for patients, this is a quicker route. And this fits in rather nicely with the requirements of the NHS delivery plan, for recovering access in primary care, which aims to increase the use of the NHS app and other digital channels to enable more patients to access their prospective medical records, including test results, and manage their repeat prescriptions. One of our newer features is check and cancel. You can provide the option for patients to check and/or cancel their appointments without needing to speak to a member of your team, saving time and often releasing appointments that could otherwise have resulted in a DNA. Another feature that we have introduced recently is personalized call routing. And personalized call routing allows you to route certain callers based on their calling line identities through a non-standard path through the call flow to enable specific information to be given or to give their call priority, for example. It is important to consider all these things when thinking about your call flow and routing choices, and our e-learning course on call routing has a whole lesson on this, so we also strongly recommend you have a look at that. Now, here is an example of a surgery call flow created by our Xflow system, and it shows the kinds of intelligent call routing that could be put into practice, highlighting where the various Surgery Connect functions and features have been used to create a really effective call flow that not only benefits the surgery in terms of managing demand, but provides a smooth and effective experience for your patients, even helping them to self-serve, as we've mentioned. This is purely an example of how you could create a workflow using these features. You don't have to follow this exact design. We strongly advise you to work out your preferred processes before implementing any changes to existing call flows. So in this scenario, we've used a separate test results line as the example. Let me talk you through the blocks on the screen. Let's start with the calendar. We've included a test results option on our main calendar that specifies the times when patients can request test results. This will stagger the calls into your surgery and help with demand. For example, avoiding the busy early morning times when patients are predominantly calling to make an appointment, and therefore you can focus the resource there first. Implementing calendars can really assist you with dealing with the 8 a.m. rush because it ensures that patients learn to call into the practice for the services that they need at the appropriate time. First thing in the morning really needs to be kept free for booking those appointments. We then included a mode switch, restricting our test results calls so that for this surgery, this department is only available between 2 and 5. This might also apply to prescriptions inquiries so that again, you can stagger opening and closing times. We then configured a group that contains the members of staff who will deal with test results calls and made that group available when the service is open. In this context, you can think of a group as being connected to a menu choice. Groups allow you to have different teams of people dealing with different types of inquiries, and we have various features in place so that you can easily assign the resources at your practice to each group to deal with demand. Then we get to the rerouting options. In this call flow, we've used them predominantly when the service is closed, but how you use these features is entirely up to you and your organization's preferred process. For example, we included the patient callback feature in this test results call flow to improve the patient experience if the queue becomes busy and callers prefer not to wait. When the service is closed, the patient gets the option to receive a text message that includes a link to the NHS app where they can go online, and of course you know that they can view their health record and check for any test results received. If the patient selects no to the option, or if the SMS is unsuccessful, the patient will be rerouted to the main menu to allow them to choose a different route. This is particularly useful for if you have patients that don't have a mobile phone or can't receive a text message for some reason, as it provides an inclusive service, allowing them to seek the care they require via a landline instead. We included personalized call routing for diabetic patients, just as an example, who tend to require frequent blood tests. They will have prioritized access to the test results group even when the service is closed. Here we will allow patients to choose the option to check and cancel. Perhaps they're unable to attend a follow-up appointment made to discuss test results. They can use the automated cancelling service, saving you from having to deal with this as a phone call, which also, of course, saves them time. The cancelled appointment might be better used elsewhere by another patient. This call flow example is just to show how these features can be used together to create a useful design. There are many other more sophisticated ways of using all of these, and we would encourage the sharing of best practice across PCNs and ICBs. Hopefully what you've seen and recognised today is that the call routing feature helps your organisation in the direction of travel towards improving access for patients, and in doing so, you're meeting of the objectives set out by the delivery plan. In terms of next steps, if you want to learn more, may I offer some suggestions? Firstly, you can complete the contact form on our AOP webpage, and the link will be placed by Debbie in the chat shortly. If you're a practice, complete the form to register your interest and one of us will be in touch. Likewise, if you're an ICB or a PCN, please complete the form and we'll talk to you about the wider data sets and options available to help you collectively support the practices in your area. One of the options that we can discuss with you is a bespoke on-site training programme. We also offer lunch and learn sessions by way of a continual schedule of webinars that are free of charge, repeated in the calendar, and these run over lunch times for convenience of staff training. The schedule is available in the support portal area of your single sign-on. Can I take this opportunity to remind you that there are a variety of other webinars coming up this month covering other access optimization topics such as patient callback, soft phone usage via the phone bar, clinical system integration and reporting. They will take on a similar format to today's session, and the aim is to give you a whistle-stop tour of the features and benefits that form the basis of this programme. Finally, do have a look at the e-learning courses on our Academy, which can be found at surgeryconnect.academy. These courses are thoughtfully designed and mapped back to the key features to offer a variety of learning experiences, including concise tutorial videos, engaging interactive graphics and knowledge checks, along with personalised feedback for learners. Learners can manage their own learning pathways through the interactive courses. As they make their progress in training, they will have the opportunity to earn certificates, and these accrue CPD time, which can feed into personal development plans. The overarching focus of all of these resources is to enhance patient experience, improve digital access, and provide strong support to the key features that form the basis of access optimization and beyond. Thank you for attending today's webinar. We look forward to seeing you again throughout our series of webinars in June, and I'll hand back to Debbie at this point.
Thanks, Danielle. That was great.
You're
Very
welcome.
informative. Okay, so we have some questions. Are you ready?
I think so.
We'll try not to give you anything too difficult. First thing was from Lisa at Walnut Tree Surgery. Not particularly a question, but just it's in response to me saying, has anybody got anything they want to get out of today? So what Lisa said was nothing in particular, just a chance to potentially use call routing more effectively to reduce calls that make it to reception unnecessarily.
Yeah.
So do we have, can you think of anything, Danielle, where you've spoken to anybody about calls going to reception and how they might sort of filter out some of those calls that go into reception? So you talked about diabetic clinic and that kind of thing.
I mean, absolutely. The obvious place to start is considering your menu choices. Give careful consideration to the number of menu choices that you want to offer your callers. And then once you've worked that out, you can apply departmental calendars, as we've shown on the example, to stop those types of calls from coming in when you're busy. So then what you should be left with is just those booking appointments, for example, first thing in the morning, and those particular types of inquiries coming through to that particular team of people. The other thing you might consider doing is letting us guide you through some of the ways in which you can invite callers to leave the queue and go online. And the idea is, in the nicest possible way, to get as many people out of the queue that might otherwise be referred to online services, automated parts of the system, NHS app, and so on and so forth, so that what you're left as a result is a very much smaller queue. And then the only other thing I can think of is any sort of frequently asked questions. So are people tending to ask the same sorts of things over and over again? How do I register? Why not actually put that information as one of your menu choices? So for example, this is the surgery. If you're calling to register at our practice, press 1, and then that could take you to a set of pre-recorded informational prompts. Then at the end of that call, they've been dealt with and you haven't even had to speak to them. So I think a combination of all these things should help towards hopefully what she's looking for.
That sounds absolutely brilliant, Danielle. I think there's lots of options there,
Yeah,
and probably lots more as well. It's just a
I think
case
so,
of
yeah.
figuring out what's best for your practice.
And let us help you. Yeah, let us seek our advice. We can help.
Exactly. Okay, next question, which comes from Picton Medical Centre. So we got here, the check and cancel feature looks interesting. Can you please explain how exactly this works? And is there a minimum time frame where patients can cancel their appointments within, as we don't want patients cancelling with an hour before their appointment?
Okay, so I can answer that to a certain extent, and some aspects I will just like to double check and we'll get a full answer back to that particular person. But certainly it's done with full clinical safety in mind, and as much as it requires the correct combination of the calling line identity, the presence of an appointment in the first place, of course, and date of birth entry over the phone to even allow them to get that far. And then if all of those things are in place, they can complete the cancellation of their appointment, and notification will be provided to the surgery by way of an email notification to say this appointment is therefore now free and someone else might be able to use it. Now, I think that there's a time limit that you can apply, but I'd like to just take that away and double check and confirm back if that's all right.
Fantastic. Okay, thanks, Danielle. Next question. When will, and this comes from Cameron Cater, West Bank Practice. When will, oh, sorry, hang on a second, my screen, there we go. When will check and cancel be out for System 1? As looks very interesting.
Again, we want to get that exactly right.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take that away and confirm back for everyone's sake.
Yeah, I know that is next up because obviously it's been done for EMIS to start with. So it certainly is next up, but we don't have a date for that as not right at this moment in time, but actually following this meeting, we're going into another meeting, which I think we will probably be getting the answer to that. So we will confirm that to you, if that's okay, Cameron. Next question from Tessa at Corner Place Surgery. So Tessa says, we haven't gone live yet, but could you clarify if the cost of these functions are included in the NHS funded package?
The answer is yes. Everything you've seen today is part of our standard offering. It's just a question of letting us help you and for you to work with us to work out how you actually want to deploy them.
Fantastic. Thanks, Danielle. Next question. Are these features compatible with Vision? Do you want me to take that one, Danielle?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the current state, we with Vision, we would very much like to offer this for Vision, of course. However, we're working with Vision to create the offering in the same way as the System 1 and the EMIS. At present, the Vision are building the APIs for us to work with. So we can't give any definitive timescales right now, but the intention definitely is there for us to do it and always has been. So we're just really waiting for Vision to give us the required tools in order to be able to do that. And obviously we can do it because we're doing it for EMIS and we're going to be doing it for System 1. So we just need to get that relationship going and get the APIs working so that we can do that. So that's the answer to that one. Next, how long before you go live? Sorry, this is from Tessa. How long before you go live would you recommend the training courses are done by the staff?
Well, we provide web-based training as part of your sort of package anyway, and that is traditionally taking place sort of around or the day before go live, as I understand it, so that it's nice and fresh in your memory. But general practice, things happen and sometimes people get pulled away mid-session. So there are a whole load of options with regards to getting staff to catch up on the basic training. Beyond that, if you need more over and above what you get as standard, again, just fill out the AOP contact form, I think, and we can look at it for you at a sort of personal surgery level. Is that okay?
I think just to add to that, I mean, the training sessions I think happen anything up to 2 weeks beforehand. So we try not to do them too far ahead of your go live, because obviously by the time it comes around to the day, everybody's forgotten, haven't they? But yeah, there's continual things that you can still revisit, the lunch and learn sessions, regular sessions that are recorded that you can access on the website. So yeah, there's plenty of resources there for you to get that training, even if you sort of are a little bit rusty on the actual day itself.
It just depends on the preferred learning style, isn't it? There are people that like to attend live sessions. There are people that like to watch things back in their own time. There's online courses. We've got something for everyone.
Absolutely, we've thought of everything. We hope, anyway. And if we haven't thought of everything, tell us, and we'll do it.
We'll think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, looking like the final question here, Danielle, and we've got College Green Surgery. Got Napoleon. Great name, Napoleon. Is it free to add links or messages for redirecting patients based on the option selected?
I think this might be to do with, is this text messaging charges?
I think so. I think that's what it's about. Is that right, Napoleon? You want to drop something? No. Okay, you're saying no, it's not about that. So is it about adding the actual link in the Xflow? Is that what you mean? Yes. Okay. So the link. So to add a link in.
Yeah. It's fine. It's up to you what you put in. It's basically your design, but obviously you need to make sure that you test the links to make sure that they work at your end.
Yeah, so as long as it's a link that anybody can access, so once it's on somebody's phone, for instance, then as long as that's an accessible link they can access, no, there's no charge for the link or to access the link.
In the same way as there'd be no charge to add an announcement that says, if your call is about this, why not go to the NHS app, something like that. This sort of thing is all included.
Yeah, indeed. Super. Okay, there's no more questions. I'll just give it a couple of seconds if anybody wants to add anything more. No, are we all done? We've got 43 people on here, so if anybody else has got anything they'd like to add, please, do so now. But as we said, here we go. No, thank you. Everybody's saying
you're very welcome.
Right. Fantastic. Okay, so that's it from us for today then. We hope you've enjoyed it and that you found it informative. Remember that tomorrow we are hosting another webinar on the subject of reporting. If you want to book onto that or any of the webinars being offered throughout June, please see the link in the chat, which I'm posting now. There we go. So that allows you to register on any of the other webinars. For further information, we'll be sending a copy of the recording today and the slides to everyone in the next 24 hours. And the answers to the questions relating to this session will be sent out at the end of June, along with the question and answers from all of the June webinars on the same subject. So you get to benefit from all of the questions that everybody's asked across all of the sessions. Okay, thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on future webinars. Bye for now.